Hi guys, happy Wellness Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. So, I wanted to talk about faulty foundations because it's something that Abba has been bringing to me, and that actually involves our health, like our physical health, like the food that you put in your mouth, health. Okay, because we know health is not just food. It's emotional health, there's spiritual health, mental health. Like there's so many other aspects of health, but we're focusing on the food that you put in your mouth. Okay, so a lot of times when people, they try to create new habits, right? Because they're like, I want to create this new habit, I have this goal, but they have nothing to build on. Literally nothing to build on. So what happens? They find themselves in this repeated cycle over and over and over and over again. How do I know that? I lived it. I lived it. Now, don't get me wrong, I have gotten further, but it took me a minute. I will say it took me a minute, but it was for a good 3 years that I was stuck at 200 pounds. Okay. 3 good years stuck and stagnant. I would literally gain weight up to like 215 after I told myself I would never get over 200. And I did. I did it 3 times. And then I was like, I'm done with it. I'm done. So before I even get into that, a lot of things when it comes to creating new habits, right? People have the resources, but they struggle with using them. So you can have all the tools in your toolbox. You can have literally everything that you need to build, but still struggling with building. You can even have the instructions, but you're still struggling with building. And it's like, why is that? Why? Because your foundation is faulty. Okay. So what does this look like? This looks like, well, actually, I just use an example. But, you're walking in something successfully. You're like, all right, you know what? I'm going to cut out sugar in 7 days. For 7 days. You do it. You do great. And then all of a sudden, then you go like another week. You're like, yeah, I got this. Next thing you know, you back to eating all the Twinkies and lollipops and I don't know what else people eat. Zebra cakes, oatmeal pies. I really took it back to the corner store days, y'all. That's all I had. I don't know. But basically, it's like, dang it. I just failed so miserably. Oh my goodness. So, but it's like, you got a little further, but you really like reverted all the way back. And you reverted all the way back that you could find yourself in a worse situation than you were before. You know, um, and then you get mad at yourself and beat yourself up mentally, sometimes even physically, you know, because you screwed up, because you messed up, you know. So the thing is like, rather than telling yourself, oh man, I messed up, okay, fine. You tell yourself you messed up. You got to be real with yourself. But are you flipping that into a question and asking yourself, why did I mess up? What happened there? What was going on? Like, because there's so many reasons for someone to revert back. Maybe sugar was a comfort to them. Maybe they just addicted to the taste and addicted psychologically too, because, just it's that dopamine hit, you know. Uh, Maybe they're living in a household where it's like they're trying to fight it and they'll actually do better. And when they're more so isolated versus being in an environment with everybody just eating whatever they eat, and then it's like, dang it, like this just makes it so much harder, and it's that temptation. So there's so many, I don't know, there's just so many reasons, um yeah, that's all I got. So typically, right, people make a goal. They have that goal. Okay, so we're just gonna continue with this whole sugar thing. People have the goal to stay away from white sugar. We're gonna white sugar, okay? The refined sugar or whatever. And but the thing is, it's like you may actually have to take it back a bit. Like take it back. Like you may not even be in a place to accomplish that goal because it's something that you need to do before you even tackle it. Now, I'm not going to say don't start the process, because you very much can start the process of reducing sugar. But the thing is why are you craving that sugar? Why do you feel, why is that a comfort? You know what I mean? And so it's like, again, figuring out why you're doing that. So, for example, right? It's an addiction. Do some research about addiction. What's going on? Why do people, why are people addicted to things? Are they using that, some addiction? It's a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism. Well, it starts off as a coping mechanism, or it can be an experiment. It can, either way, but some people use sugar to cope because it feels good in their moments of sadness or something like that. So that's what they're used to. Maybe they're going through a difficult time in their life and they want that comfort, so it's like they need to find a new coping mechanism. So what does that look like? So they have to dive into, what does that even look like? What does that entail? So it's like, yes, they have the goal that I want to get rid of sugar, but it's like, you gotta take it back. Okay. So I'm going to use myself as an example, because when it comes to examples, I do better using myself as an example versus other stuff, because then I just get lost in the sauce. So, how I talked about with me being stuck for 3 years at 200 pounds. And the reason why I always go back to this example is because this is what actually unlocked the key for me to be able to move forward and do the work. And it has not been easy doing the work. And it's been, from the outside, it looks like a very slow process, because technically I could have lost 50 pounds. I could have lost 60 pounds. There's so much more I could have accomplished. Okay. You know what I mean? I could have been out here looking like a whole bodybuilder if I really wanted to. But there were so many steps within steps that I had to get to. So then that way I will be able to move forward more successfully instead of going through that same cycle that I've been going to. So again, I was stuck there for the last 3 years, and then I signed up for this coaching program. I signed up. They had everything, but I just wanted the exercise. Okay. I just wanted the exercise. And the thing was, I started the exercise because I felt like it'll hold me accountable because I had the coaching. And it did hold me accountable, and I got back into a routine, but then I had to really sit with myself and say, why do you keep going in this cycle? Like, why? And I had to be real with myself. To be honest with you, I didn't love myself the way I thought I did. Now, there's layers. There's layers to it, okay? And to be honest with you, I'm learning what love looks like. I'm actually learning what love is. I haven't talked about it, but I'm truly learning that. And I'm learning that through my relationship with Yah, how that has been transformed and been renewed and restored. And it's just like, wow. So I'm learning how to love myself because he's showing me how he loves me. And in turn, I can actually love others based off of how I love myself. But that's a whole nother message. A whole nother message. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't love myself, at least to the capacity that I thought I did. I had a lot of unbelief. I didn't believe that I can do it. I didn't trust myself that I can do it. I didn't think that I deserved to move forward, and that was hard to really deal with. It was hard. Like, when I tell you it was hard, like tears breaking down hard, because I had to realize I wanted to show up for so many other people, to help move them forward, to cheer them on, to root them on. And here I was stuck and stagnant myself. And I'm like, wait, something not right, Judy. Something's not right. And you got to do something about this, because it's a problem. It's a real problem. And it was a real problem. Okay. So if you follow my faith and fitness journey, which I am going to be talking about more I do always say Abba used fitness to increase my faith, because I just thought this was just a simple little problem issue thing here, with me being stuck. And it opened up an entire door of issues in my life that I did not realize were actually there. And when I tell you, he took it to the root. He took it to the root, all the way back to the womb. Okay. And that's where a lot of uprooting, a lot of things had to be done, And now in that, I'm actually able to walk out more in the goals that I'm setting for myself. But in the midst of this, everything on that side of self-sabotaging behavior, because that's what it was. It was self-sabotaging behavior. I make a goal and then I choose to do something against it. I was self-sabotaging myself because I didn't believe that I deserved better. Point blank, period. It is what it is. And you got to be real with yourself too. So, yeah, I hope it gets your brain cells going. Get thinking, buy yourself a journal, be real with yourself. And you got to sit with yourself to be real with yourself too. It can be scary because you don't know what is going to unfold. But if you really want to move forward, you'll be willing to do the work, and you will do the work. It'll take some time, but you will succeed. You will definitely succeed. And do it with our Heavenly Father, okay? Because the doors will open up way more. It'll open up way more. A lot of the time I got a little further because I was doing a lot of things myself, to be honest with you. I was doing it myself, but I barely got nowhere. That's why I was always stuck and stagnant. It took 10,000 years because I had no foundation to build on. Oh, speaking of foundation, because I feel like I kind of just like lost that entire part. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Well, a lot of it. For me, the foundation of my health was Yah's foods. That was the foundation. He led me to plant-based. Now, it took me a cycle because I've tried different things, that helped, but it really didn't. It really didn't, because what I knew what was best for me, it needed to be a lifestyle. It wasn't something that I had to sit here and count and do all of this other stuff. Now, if you have a specific goal, like a number goal that you're trying to reach or other issues, yes, you will have to be more strategic, because when it comes to healing, maybe you got a high candida count. So you got to make sure that you're eliminating this and that and that and this. And, and there's nothing wrong with that, But then after a while, it's like, if you walking this out, you want it to be a lifestyle. So that way it's natural. You don't feel no pressure. It's peaceful when you live in this life. You feel excited. You feel energized. And it's just great. But that's what the purpose of Wellness Wednesday was. Because everyone is talking about, oh, eat your fruit and vegetables. Da, da, da. Half of y'all don't even know what the heck y'all was eating. To be honest with you, I was sitting here eating fruits and vegetables and didn't really know all the benefits. You know what I mean? And I just touched the surface. Abba just had me keep it simple. Because at the end of the day, that opens your eyes and it plants a seed within you. But then you got to go back and look and do the work. You know what I mean? You're responsible for your health. Everybody else is not responsible for your health. There's a lot of things when it comes to the government, like just... they jacking up everything, okay? They coming for us, okay? They coming for us in every which way that you look, from the clothes, from the air, to the food, from the water. Like, you can't eat, you can't breathe. You can't even live in a bubble, because then the bubble will be freaking toxic. Like, it's ridiculous, right? But the thing is like, when you are eating the way that you are led, and I know for a fact that many of you are being called to a plant-based diet. Why? Because I have these conversations with you. Regardless of what anybody is doing to the food, they cannot touch Yah's food. They can try. But this is the thing. Just as Daniel did. Now I'm going to a whole nother thing, but that's it. I'm going to say this and then I'm done. And with Daniel, right? He did a consecration. When he was sitting at that table, And with all that food sitting in front of him that was dedicated to pagan gods, he chose to eat Yah's foods. Yah's foods. Your protection is in Yah's foods. So if you decide to eat them Leviathan Oreo cookies, actually, that's a whole nother thing, okay? If y'all know me, you know what I'm talking about with these Leviathan cookies. Because that's a whole demonic symbolism on there. But anyway. Or you choose to, I don't know, eat the Twinkies and the Debbie cakes and everything else. That's not Yah's food. They may have little inklings of things in there, but it's junk. It's trash. It's not even food. It's actually not food. It's literally chemicals that was literally put together to present itself for human consumption. But what is it doing? It's poisoning you. It's making you sick. So you're coming into agreement with all this disease and everything else, and then you want to get mad at the government. Educate yourself. You are responsible to educate yourself. And there's no reason to not be able to do so. There's no reason. Especially with everybody on Instagram. No reason. So, I'm done talking. I hope y'all have a blessed Wednesday. I love y'all. And I'll see you the next time I show up.